Welcome, everyone, to the Whiskey House Pub House. Thank you for tuning in on this podcast. Today it's a little more intimate. I think there's only two of us in this chat room.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh, man, I can't wait to find out if there's more people.
Are the guests in the room with us? Yep. I'm expecting just crickets, but...
Oh, okay.
Those are crickets. Those are loud crickets, man. Just banging the table like that. My name is Zach, regular co-host.
Yep, my name is Dylan.
Mostly regular.
Joining you today.
Yep. And once again, thank you for tuning in. Today, we have an interesting topic. We're going to be talking about daily drinks, daily drinkers, daily
sipper,
daily sippers, daily drams.
Your daily
carry.
Well, people carry knives.
Yeah. Well, this is a beverage podcast,
yeah.
So
we should probably get to the intro. We're back from the intro.
Yeah.
Good thing we did that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we don't have a camera going on today either.
That's true.
It was too lazy. Couldn't be bothered.
It's returned to form. Yep. You know, and because I said it was intimate, I really want this to be we're now ASMR. I've made that choice right now. Yeah. That's why I'm speaking really close to the microphone, closer than normal. And I hope that you're okay with that. Today, oh no, my voice cracked. Honey.
So what's been going on? It's been a little bit. I looked. I think it's been like
a month since we recorded, but since upload,
I got to be honest. I have a couple that are I need to be getting out.
Yeah,
like one for Whiskey Shaman. That episode,
right?
Haven't finished it yet.
Sure.
And there was another one, but now I don't remember what the other one was.
Yep.
That's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is. But we're gonna continue to fill that backlog with even more episodes for you to edit. So you have so much to look forward to. What's new with me? Zach has been playing a lot of golf. Okay. That's kind of been my thing this spring. Unfortunately, because there is no camera, the audience can't see how tan I am right now. I'm pretty tan for Zach. Yep. I mean, Zach is historically
not an outdoor sport person.
Yeah, not an outdoor sport person, but also just, I mean, I'm very white and pasty and, ghost-like.
Classic Minnesota
Midwesterner. Yep. And now just being outside, it's so good to know that I can tan because despite some of my Nordic genetics, I can still turn brown, I can get a little browner. And also, you just feel better. I mean, it really is true. That vitamin D, it makes life a little bit more worth living.
Yeah.
So I'm doing that. I'm playing golf and just working. And what's the specific thing I wanted to say? Because seriously, it's like after work, if it's a nice day out, I immediately make a tea time and I go play golf by myself. I love it. It's like, it's meditative.
I'm sure. It sounds pretty great.
It's like, and I'm one of those people, I played golf as a kid a lot. And so I have a appreciation isn't the word. I have a preconceived notion of how golf should be played in the sense that like, I still believe in like its root. It's a very respectful sport. Sure. It's patient. There's a lot of waiting. You're waiting for others to hit.
One of the old guards.
Yeah, I'm one of the old guards of how golf maybe was played.
It seems very more party now.
Oh, it's super party. Yeah, like wearing pants. Like I wear pants when I golf almost every time, just because that's golf attire in my mind. That's how you're supposed to play golf, is in pants and a polo. Obviously, if it's 100 degrees outside, I'm not going to do that, but if at all possible. And then also, no music. Like I don't like, especially the like earbuds. Fine, if you're just listening to your own personal tracks.
Box on the golf cart.
Yeah, exactly. And then also the drinking. Like I don't love drinking on the golf course, or smoking. That's definitely something that's historic. People smoke cigars while they play golf.
In fact, it's mandatory.
Yeah. In fact, that's probably how they started the sport. I know because it comes from Scotland, and it really was. I think I've researched this topic, and it really was just a bunch of people like just drinking,
looking to get outside
looking
and get away
outside
from
and,
the housewives.
yeah, and they're just like, hey, I got this like little like leather ball from like, you know, the weeds.
What did it come from? Like, how did they figure out? Was there a reason around the original golf ball? Like, what was it previously? Like, did it have a second? Was it a primary use and then it was brought over and just adapted?
Yeah, no, I think it wasn't adapted from anything else. I mean, they did have to create this object, but it definitely wasn't standard. There was definitely not a standard golf ball, even until I want to say like the 1960s or 70s, because you can look at these sewn balls.
Yeah, I've seen some of
from
those.
like the 50s and the 40s,
right?
And they're not. There's no way that they're regulation weight, you know, or regulation aerodynamics. You know, that's just not something that they focused on.
Yeah, I've seen the like the evolution chart of the golf ball.
Yeah,
and then
yep,
it's kind of interesting.
And then just a small tangent, because this is already a tangent. I'm a tangent again. The golf ball dimples. What's been popping up on my YouTube feed a lot? It was that MythBusters episode. Do you remember
with the car
with the golf the detented car?
That was
what they called it.
Very interesting episode.
Yep. And I remember that. Well, I forgot because they brought it up again because they were saying what was the most either impressive or unexpected result from one of these myths that they tested, and that was the one,
right?
According to Adam Savage.
Because I wonder how many like, because they for the people that don't know, they took like, it was a Dodge Neon, and then they added modeling clay to the exterior and completely sculpted these dimples on there. What was amazing is were they testing fuel economy?
Yeah.
So it picked up MPG, but even with the added weight of the molding clay.
Yeah, they talk about that. So because they had to, they did a run with just molding clay pasted on, not dimpled.
Sure.
To get the added weight as the comparison.
Oh.
So they did a flat clay addition.
Sure.
I think it was a Ford Taurus, not a Dodge Neon. Not that it even matters, but
one of those generic 90s American
sedans, yeah. And then did the weight, and then the metric they're measuring was the weight of the gas tank in grams. That's how they and they made sure that there was only 1 gallon of fuel in the system. So they bled the fuel lines before and after the test, between the tests. Ran it 5 times each. But regardless, sorry, golf tangent. The golf ball car, 14% more efficient driving. I think it was like 55 miles an hour for a mile.
You know, we got all these people that are concerned about Taylor Swift's jet economy.
Usage,
You know what they should be doing is they should be putting dimples on planes.
On planes, yeah. So then, what they talked about later was Bugatti or was it a Lamborghini? No, it was a Bugatti. The Bellone. It seriously sounds like Bugatti Bologna, honestly. It's like Bel Dante or something. The rear wing had golf ball aerodynamic on it, where it had these there was a membrane that they could actually electronically activate, control, and it would dome up into those golf ball dimples. So like from the underside, essentially is what it's doing.
So that the air is traveling faster on the underside, so thus it's
downforce. And it's like, and it works. I mean, not really worth the investment. To shave off
14% of a wing.
Yeah. Well, and also like Bugatti's still never won. Even they didn't win anything with that car.
They're not even in. I don't even know the last time they've been in a competitive race.
Because it doesn't matter.
They're just road cars now.
Yeah, and again, it doesn't matter. That's where the money's made,
right?
And that's what the image is.
They make watches, cars, and I think they had something at Costco at one point, like a scooter.
Yep. I would love a Bugatti scooter
from Costco.
Yep. I do want the newest Honda motorcycle, which is not a motorcycle. It's the luggage case. Have you seen that?
Oh, that has been blowing up on my feed too.
It's dumb. I think it's a dumb idea. I want one. I want one so bad.
Yeah, I mean, it only makes sense for
at the airport, like you just zoom around.
Right.
And you're like going to your rental car.
You have to be some sort of commuter that you are leaving your car at a meaningful distance to justify that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where you would have to work. You'd have to almost work in an airport.
Yeah. You'd have to live I could see it working like a park and ride system where like maybe
exactly.
you live far away from your house and you commute to the bus station.
Sure.
I could see that. Like me and myself, I don't commute on the bus ever, but there is a park and ride.
Right.
2.5 miles down the road. It's too far to walk. You could bike, obviously, but you got to store your bike. Keep your bike with you. Right. And a bike has no meaningful storage. The motorcycle, the luggage, motor cab, whatever. I think
it's the size of a suitcase.
It's the size of a suitcase.
Like 40 pounds.
Yeah. And it's like, perfect. Yeah. So I'm done. I'm done with my introduction.
I like
good
that.
My rant. Yeah. Thank you.
So golfing, it's nice.
Yep. Golfing and tans.
Mm-hmm.
I wish to get better at both of those two things by the end of the summer. I want to have a better tan and I want to be better at golf.
We do aspire to greater goals.
Yep. That's my sense of accomplishment for this. Who was that? The video game company that was like, was it Blizzard that everyone was making fun of? For like, don't you want to pursue a sense of accomplishment?
Could have been.
For what was it for? Honestly, it's video games.
Was it recently?
No, this is 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay, probably not.
Yeah.
Well, I guess. Let's see what's going on with me. Worked out a little bit today.
Nice.
Yeah. Watching what I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
So, counting calories. Eating a lot of carrots at lunch.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have a lot of
lots of fiber.
It's got a lot of fiber, but it doesn't. I can eat a lot of them.
Right.
I don't have a lot of calories.
Right.
Turns out vegetables.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's highly
less calories than like a cosmic brownie or something.
No way.
That's weird.
How about the Twinkie? They surely
super dense.
They can't be better than Twinkies.
They're actually very efficient at calorie, like cramming it into it. Vegetables, not so much.
Yeah. What a waste.
Yeah.
What a waste of nutrition.
But the added benefit of eating a lot of carrots is you turn orange over time. So it's like you get the tan and I'm getting a tan, but we're doing it two different ways. Both natural, maybe, but mine's more like the flamingo method, we'll call it.
And the problem is you're gonna look better at the end than I will.
So good.
I'm gonna look like that SpongeBob episode when they get too tan, and they shrivel up and they're all leathered up.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be like
orange.
Yeah. Well, no, I was gonna say the guy that the walrus that was actually tan.
Yeah. Looked like he had skin cancer.
Yeah.
Weird. Yeah. Something's not right. Yeah. He looks like one of those 60, 70-year-old Florida men that are just way too tan, but they're still wrinkly.
Yep. Yeah, their skin has turned into leather.
Yeah. Leather handbag.
Yep. Exercise, working out.
Yep.
Dieting.
Yeah.
You got new electronic tools.
Watch.
You got tools for that.
I got a Garmin watch that keeps track of everything. Tells me I sleep like crap, apparently.
Sure. Because of the heart rate or because of BPM or
what is it? It's
breathing?
No, it's not breathe. I don't think it's like a what am I trying to think? The breathing. What's the condition you have if you're not breathing right and sleeping?
Oh, yeah, he has.
You need a
CPAP machine.
CPAP machine.
You have. Machine. What is the condition?
Sleep apnea.
Oh, sleep apnea. Yeah.
But what am I trying to find exactly? But like my heartbeat rhythm. Let's see. Oh, dang it.
Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice,
rhythm
Dylan is trying to figure out how to use his watch.
So the rhythm hour rate.
Okay.
It's low. Yeah. Apparently.
And rhythm, is that referring to the sleep rhythm, like the REM versus like the stages of sleep, or?
I had to look it up, and the problem is when I looked it up, I had just woke up because I'm like, my watch is telling me that my RHM is like
off
60, and I'm like, what the heck does that mean?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
gotta learn this metric before
so
I
I looked it
asleep,
up, and it's like, oh, it's this, and higher is good, and like 50 is not good, and I'm like, okay, but so because I looked it up because I just woke up, I don't have any recollection of it.
Yep.
But
what does this mean? What does all this mean?
Yeah. But then I kind of Googled it, and the sum ops was like, it's not for sure. They don't know how connected it is to like anything really.
Sure.
It's just like a thing.
Yep. Well, sleep study is so weird. I watched a lot of TED Talks on sleep study, and it's like no one really knows.
No.
I mean, obviously it's
you need enough
sleep.
for yourself.
Get sleep.
Yeah.
Please don't delay sleeping.
Yep.
Just sleep as long and as hard as you can.
There's an average. Everyone's kind of different, and then they don't really know a set thing.
Right.
but it keeps track of like your REM, deep, light, and then when you're like awake.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool. So it kind of gives you like like this was a good night, this was not. So then you can kind of like try to figure out exactly and kind of tweak it.
Yep.
So I found out like, drinking, if I had like some whiskey before bed, like, 2 ounces or something, I actually slept worse.
Right.
So
that's pretty, I think it's
pretty
I
think that's pretty typical. Like that's a known thing, but like being able to like have that connection
for sure.
Yeah. Cause you hear things like that's not good for you.
Yeah. It's like, well, how not good for me is it?
It's like, well, you slept like crap.
Yeah.
So
well, they also say, it's not on the same level as drinking, but like just eating food, eating your dinner right before bed is bad. It's poor for your health because your metabolism is functioning differently.
Right. It's supposed to be highest.
You're not digesting the food the way you were supposed to get all the nutrition out of it.
For sure. Yeah. So I'm just, changed the way. Not really. Well, it changed the way I've eaten. So I'm, I'm eating. I wake up at like 4:00, breakfast. Usually doing like a couple eggs.
Yeah,
and then toast or maybe yogurt. Yeah, change things up.
Simple, manly breakfast.
And then lunch is just carrots. So I like have 100
carrots.
100 calories worth of carrots, which is like, like 3.5 servings. Yeah. Which I forget what the ounce size is. Yep. So it's like one of those bigger bags. Yeah. I get like a third of that a day.
Like baby carrots or just straight
baby carrots? Okay. Yeah. Because babies taste better.
Right. You watch Snowpiercer, right? Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's okay.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, that's from.
Yeah. But then and then I have like a bigger dinner, because it's only like
dinner. Yeah.
It's like 400 calories, 500 calories by the time lunch is over.
Yep. I'm surprised you can withhold that long because like whenever I tried eating like way fewer calories, I would eat 200 calories for breakfast. Literally 2 eggs and toast is 200 calories, and then I try to have like a 300 calorie lunch at noon, which would just be like a couple chips, which obviously is not very good for you. But like, I was just so hungry. Yeah. Right after that, I was like, by 5:00 after I'm done with work, I am starving, and then I eat 2,500 calories. Because I couldn't help myself.
Yeah,
I had no restraint.
I don't know. I think it's just I think obviously like the carrots I think is a really nice thing because it's like I can eat pretty much as I want, and it doesn't really matter as far as that particular food item. Not to say I don't feel like hungry after that because it's like it's just carrots.
Yeah,
but. Usually by the time I get home, it's only, my biggest struggle is actually between breakfast and lunch.
Sure.
Because that's the longest period of time I go. Yep. So it's like 4:45 by the time I eat. And it's like 12.
Yeah.
By the time I get to lunch, and then I'm just having carrots.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part. And then after lunch, it's like, once I get home at like 5. Which I guess is, basically
it's dinner time, yeah. But maybe we should stop being a nutrition podcast and go back to being a whiskey podcast. What do you say?
I think we should. Okay. So that's what's going on with us.
That's awesome. Yep.
While we were talking about that, we were sipping on some Russell's Reserve 10-year. What do you think about that, Zach?
That's good. I've always liked it. I will say it's just not good enough for me to pick over other things of the same price.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just something I always pass up at the liquor store. And I feel like they would sell a lot more because honestly it's the label I think that's the most bland, It's a very just red, straight, easy. It's easy font to read, and I'm not.
I think what it's missing is, and we'll get into this more, but I think it's missing the turkey aspect.
Sure.
Like it's Russell's Reserve is, we know it's iconic.
Yeah.
We know why it's iconic because of the team of Jimmy and Eddie, father and son distilling team, and the history that is about I forget what's like 80 years between the two of distilling expertise. But so, I mean, the name carries a lot of weight.
Yep.
But I think more people know Wild Turkey and the 101.
Yep.
So I kind of think if they had like more of a Wild Turkey theming, or at least a connection to that.
An association.
Yeah.
I mean, every brand could do better if there was a chart at every liquor store that told you the families, you know, where everything derives from, what juice you're actually getting. But
sure, that
alone would almost ruin the branding of some. I mean, some brands sell better than others because people don't know they're the same. But
well, so that's what we're drinking.
Yep.
So Zach, this brings us to a new thing that I think I wanted to try at least. We're going to try to do some news at the beginning of every episode.
What about the olds?
Sorry.
So dumb. So dumb.
That'll stop them cold.
Yep.
Well, if we think of any olds, we'll come up with it.
Sounds good. Yeah.
And then we can definitely share it with the audience. Yep. But so one article I wanted to share with, and it's on topic for the our startup whiskey for the day, is, have you heard about the new release from Russell's Reserve? So Russell's Reserve is coming out with a 15-year release of Russell's series bourbon. Yep. So I have the press release right here, and we're going to read that. This is from PR Newswire. The title is The Russell's Reserve introduces 15-year-old limited release Kentucky straight bourbon. Have you had the 13-year?
If I have, I can't recall its flavor profile.
So obviously that release came out a little bit ago, and I think there was some rumors going around that this might actually replace this year's allocation of the 13 due to the fact that they're releasing this 15. We're going to get into the article, and here we go. Available starting July 1st, the 2024 offering marks a departure from the distillery's expected release schedule to push the boundaries of extended aging. Multi-award-winning, best-in-class bourbon producer, Russell's Reserve, known for and applauded for its reverence to the Rick House, introduces a 15-year-old 2024 limited release. Exclusive display of masterfully matured bourbon. The highly anticipated limited offering is a spiritual successor of Russell's Reserve 13-year-old that pushes the boundaries of extended aging. Driven by the commitment to release only the highest quality specialty offerings rather than a set release structure, Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Fame master distiller Eddie Russell and his team identified this particular 15-year small batch bourbon as this year's gold standard from the historic distillery. Crafted from thoughtfully selected barrels that had endured 15 years of Kentucky's frigid winters and intensively hot summers, Russell's Reserve 15 offers fans a layered and robust sipping experience distinctly different from past releases. This quote, while it wasn't an easy decision to release something other than the Russell's Reserve 13, the added complexity from extended aging was too exciting to pass up, said Eddie Russell. It's been humbling to watch what started as a passion project, a place to celebrate my family's shared love of bourbon making, turn into something that's coveted by collectors around the world. We stayed commented, blah, 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 blah.
Yes,
bring to
for
life.
Being a press release, this feels very much just like straight advertisement.
Oh, it is. But they're always...
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
I also like his verbiage of saying, like, I'm so excited for it to be coveted by collectors, you know, like, he's not even, he didn't even frame it as if people are going to drink it, you know. It's like, no, we're making it.
Collectors are going to love this.
Yeah, collectors are going to love this.
They're going to lose their crap.
Yeah.
So let's see. Robust bourbon offers notes of intense molasses and oak, along with the distillery's signature earthiness. Non-chill filtered and bottled at precisely 117.2, the point at which Eddie felt the whiskey's character best soothed through. It is a testament to a masterfully worth collecting.
Yeah, whatever.
Let's see. Aroma. Dried fruits, caramel, nutmeg, clove, and oak with distillery's signature earthiness. Taste. Spiced fruits, including cherry, plum, transition notes of molasses, coffee, tobacco, and matured oak. finish is long-lasting, with hints of dark cocoa, caramel, and smooth oak. Man, with flavor notes like that, you thought we just tried it.
I know. Well, so what I think is interesting about this is, or what's going to be most important is that finish. I think the age is really, it's kind of understated because they're just adding describing words of what the finish tastes like. But I think really the key word there is the long-lasting finish, the dark cocoa. And I like that it's supposed to taste like, the earthiness and the tobacco. Those are flavors I love in these well-aged bourbons. So if we were ever to find one or have one, I think it'd be, I wouldn't want to collect it.
Well,
I'd want to drink it.
If you are someone that wants to either drink it or collect it, this is what you got to do. So the Russell's Reserve 15-year-old 2024 limited release is available for a limited time for $250 SRP per 750 ml bottle at select retailers through the U.S. and Asia beginning July 1st. Fans can sign up for the Russell's Reserve community newsletter at russellsreserve.com to be the first to learn about the online availability. So you could sign up for that, and I think you, in the past, depending on what states you're in, obviously, you can buy through their website, so you might be able to have a shot at that. So thoughts on this? Let's see. There's no, from what I could find, I couldn't find a set release amount being. I've seen the rumors saying that, one, there's not going to be a 13-year release this year because of the 15, that there is only about 2,500 bottles. And then, just people were trying to take a guess at how many barrels they thought they were using in there, but not that was strictly important for the release of this bottle. But yeah, I don't know. I've had the 13. Liquor Boy and I did not really speak highly of it. We'll have to get you a taste of that at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm always looking forward to trying new things from Wild Turkey. The problem is if you stumbled across this for $250,
you'd buy it and you wouldn't drink it, and you're not going to open it either. Like,
well, I'd probably do it, but
not if there's only 25. If you knew that the unit count is 2,500,
yeah, but
you're right.
Yeah,
who really?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
You got any thoughts on this?
Yeah, without having the Russell's Reserve 13, I can't say I speak too highly of it either. For such a limited release, and I'm glad. This is a heritage product, this well-aged bourbon. So it's important that they're doing it. That's really awesome that they're making this kind of product instead of just pumping out,
Something that I want to add is, we're seeing a lot more age statements coming back. Not necessarily even coming back. Knob Creek's coming back with, they came back with their 9-year a year or two ago.
Yep. And
they released a 10-year rye, which could be on its own news segment.
Sure.
But they came out with that. Old Overholt came out with a 10-year, which is, Jim Beam Distillery. And then I think I'm missing someone else. But more and more releases are including age statements. However, that being said, with the added age statements, there seems like there's a lot that are adding on to the super premium price tier.
Yeah.
And a extremely limited availability. So, while we are seeing age statements come back, it does seem like we're starting to see more expensive limited releases in more towards the traditional way of Scotch.
Yeah.
Doing special editions.
Right.
And hyper age statements. But yeah, I'm sure it'll be pretty good still. But
there's definitely going to be some level of market stabilization. People are only going to pay so much for what they want. And if no one buys it, they're not going to, they're not going to make it anymore. That's just business. That's capitalism. All right.
Well, and we'll see if that ever becomes a yearly release or if this is a one-time thing. So as of now, it seems to be
we'll go back to 13.
Yeah, maybe we'll go back.
Yeah.
Or we'll get a 18 or something.
Yeah, they forgot about some other barrels. Like, we had another Rick.
Whoa. All right, we'll pass it on to Zach now for his next news segment.
This next news segment, it's not technically a press release. This is just a little advert on the main distillery's website. This is from Heaven Hill, just in as of yesterday, 2 days ago is when this.
Very recently.
Yeah. It's an announcement of a new series of whiskeys that they're doing. It's 3 whiskeys for now, and this is their grain to glass. What's the word I should use here? Release. Their grain to glass trademark collection. Yeah. And yeah, I'll write here. This is having a grain to glass highlights the commitment to family and quality by partnering with family-owned business, taking quality and transparency one step further, starting with the seed. So what these are is each grain to glass variant in this collection is going to focus on one grain. It's going to the most predominant of the majority of that grain in the mash will be the greatest value. So there's one for corn / bourbon, one for rye, and one for wheat. There's going to be a wheated, a bourbon, and a rye. And I think the key word here, what makes this different than a lot of releases from other distilleries and even themselves, is the transparency. They are it's down to the nitty gritty. They're going to be telling you exactly what type of seed is going in the ground, where, how long it's grown, and then of course on top of that, the normal age statements, proof values, and whatnot. So with these 3 whiskeys, I'm going to read this part actually. This will clear it up. So it says, typically, whiskey is made with low-starch corn because it produces a higher yield. However, waxy or high-starch corn results in better alcohol content. Each year, our master distiller works with Beck's hybrids to find the perfect non-GMO corn seed varietal, one with higher starch content that grows best in central Kentucky. It can take years or even decades to create these hybrids. Selecting the best traits of each corn plant and ensuring the resulting hybrid is ideal for whiskey making in Kentucky. So that's what they're looking for, is they're trying to find the best strain of corn, find the best strains of other grains, and put that in the glass, grain to glass. So here's the 3 releases. Here's the deets. They're doing a rye whiskey, and this rye whiskey is 6 years old. The proof will vary. However, for this year's release, where is it? 123.2 proof for the rye. So that's pretty sweet. Tasting notes on the rye is the colors pale mahogany, the aroma dried flowers and grasses, toasted oak. Taste big butterscotch and caramel notes with dense, complex spices and a touch of cigar tobacco. I like that. And the finish is the spiciness continues to build with a big cinnamon note, charred oak with a hint of campfire smoke at the last. So that sounds really good. I'm looking forward to that rye. The other one, I'm going to do the wheated bourbon next. Oh, and now I'm getting age stated on this one.
Like, wait a minute, how old are you?
Yeah, I'm already on the page. Why do you do this to me? Website. And they make you put in a date as well.
It's the worst. I'm operating a phone. I should be old enough.
Right? I know how to operate a rotary phone. That definitely makes me old enough.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
So then the wheated bourbon. Also 6 years old. The proof, again, will vary. However, this year's is 121 proof. The color will be deep auburn. The aroma, primarily walnuts and almonds, with notes of whole wheat bread, cedar, and oak. The taste is toasted whole wheat bread and molasses with a pleasantly surprising peppery spice. The finish is notes of pepper slowly fade to reveal oak tannins and an echo of sweet molasses. So a little more boring. I like the aroma of the walnuts and the almonds. That'll be good. But yeah, I mean, wheated bourbons, I mean, they can be really good. But of all the wheated bourbons, those tend to be the most one-dimensional compared to their relatives.
When it comes to bourbon, for me, I feel like the wheated tend to be the most hit or miss.
Yeah.
Like it's either fantastic, like in the case of a lot of the, special reserve Weller.
Yeah, it's either Weller's or it's bad. Sorry.
Or it's like, it's like very
statement.
Grainy and like, which I want to like it for more of the grain flavor, but a lot of the times it's just like, it's kind of just a weird hay.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not what I'm about.
Yep. That's kind of what wheat is, though. I mean,
for sure.
In the wheat fields, that's kind of what it smells like, what it is. Last one they're releasing, this is the Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Again, Age, at least 6 years old. The proof will vary from year to year. This year's is 107. So this is the lightest of them all. Colors golden amber. Aroma is apples and pears with notes of fresh oak. Taste is plentiful orchard fruit with bright floral and spice notes. The finish is slight oaky sweetness with peppery spice. So I can just tell that's not going to be good. I can already tell by their tasting notes that one didn't turn out. I like the aroma, fruity, apples and pears. Love that. But if that isn't the most boring taste, like how how do you say bright floral is a flavor? I don't. What does bright taste like?
Yeah, I'm worried that these are going to be a little young. Not necessarily because the age is only 6 years. That's not it. But looking at the additional information given, which it does give you the corn seed varietal. It's Beck's 6158 hybrid thing.
Yep.
And then it gives you the Rickhouse too. And the name of it. But the floors are 345.
Yeah.
It's going to be typically, lower heat, less tannic flavors being imparted onto the whiskey. So depending on how much they're using of the 3 to 4, and even depending on how high the Rickhouse is, that's going to definitely impact the part that the barrel played on it.
Yeah.
And then with only 6 years, it's like, I don't know what that's going to be like.
Yeah. I see this as a great opportunity for like something like the whiskey marketing school. What are they called?
Wizard Academy.
Yeah, Wizard Academy
in Austin.
Or places like that where this is not that they don't have other options to choose from, but this almost seems like an academic take on how to get flavor profiles from specific grains. Because this is an instance where having so much detail of exactly what is in the whiskey and being publicly available,
right,
without having to specifically ask a distillery for a test.
So I know the whiskey marketing school has partnered with a distilling school, I guess, for lack of better words.
Sure.
And I forget who it was, but there was things that they felt that they couldn't, not that they couldn't do it, but there was things that people were already doing that they felt like they could direct people towards. But maybe the marketing school could help with that. No. This seems to me more like a big brand taking notice of what the small brands are doing. Specifically, what this reminds me a lot of is Far North.
Mm-hmm.
Far North is already doing, specific grain varietal whiskey releases. They're giving you the information about all this. I mean, they're giving you information. It's not to the same extent that the smaller guys are doing.
Sure.
But this seems like an attempt to kind of shine the light that we can be, craft too.
Yeah.
Like just because we're big doesn't mean that we're a corporate.
And that also means that because we're craft, we're going to charge $100 for each of these bottles.
How much are these?
$100.
They're $100 each?
And they're $700.
I thought they were going to be like regular stuff.
No, it's $100 and they're 700 mil. They're not 750. So the what's the word? The intent people are thinking is that this is going to be a global product. They're going to try and market this all over the world.
I'm worried that, I do agree with you. They could.
Yep.
I think for $100 in 6 years,
mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to work. Next in Europe.
Yep.
I don't think they will. I think it's probably just going to be a United States release because we're the only stupid enough people that would actually buy these.
I will say the rye sounds good. And
that's the only cast strength one.
Yeah, 127 or 123 proof. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I just said it, but it's in the 120s.
Let's see.
For a rye. I think that's not atrocious. I would expect to spend around $70 for a rye, a quality rye of that proofing and cask strength. Yeah. Something like a Wild Turkey rare breed rye, or even like a finished rye, like the Angel's Envy. It's like $80.
Well, I mean, that one's Wild Turkey rare breed is like 60 to 70.
Right, that's what I mean.
Okay,
yeah, $70.
Yeah, I didn't.
And Stellum rye, or a High West. A High West cast strength rye is 90. Sorry, not High West. Willet. A Willet rye. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I don't like $70 the 4-year.
Right. But this is 6-year. So
sure.
All I'm saying is this is not exorbitant. We're
giving the rye kind of a pass.
Yeah,
right
I'm
now.
giving the rye a pass. Right. The rest, the bourbon, I want to. If I see that, I'm going to throw it on the ground.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like there's anything to buy there for the bourbons, but I think that I'm interested in these. The rye, I think you're correct. I think we give that pass because on paper it's not actually that unreasonable compared to what is already on the market. The wheated bourbon and the regular bourbon, it's going to have to taste fantastic to impress me, I feel like.
Yep. Now, what if this is like a bait and switch where it's actually $100 for all three? Wouldn't that be something? Well,
that would be something.
Yeah, it would be something. That'd be cool, though. So I think this leads us nicely, though, on the path. We were on the path of, my gosh, that's too much. I'm not going to drink that, to, hey, what should I drink instead?
Yeah. Or what are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
We need some transition music. I don't know if we, let's say, if I have transition music, it'll go in. We'll see if we had transition music, but
okay.
And if not, it's even better.
Yep.
We were sipping on the Russell's Reserve 10-year. When it comes to daily drinkers, daily sippers, whatever you call them, what comes to mind?
Water.
Yep.
That's definitely up there. I think I drink water every day.
You think you do?
I think I'm pretty sure, though I'm not 100% on that.
Right. Well,
followed directly by.
So that's a legitimate concern because you don't want to drink something that's boring or uninteresting or something that doesn't have flavor. So I think the goal with this is like, what would you consider a daily drinker that, one, you could pretty relatively find.
Yep.
And two, it is affordable. It doesn't have to be the cheapest thing out there, but you got to be able to afford it.
Yep.
And then still has flavor.
Yeah. If this was 2020, Zach, I'd be saying
E.H.
Taylor, bottled and bond. Come on, guys. It's not that hard. I have a spot. That's not true anymore. It hasn't been true for a long time. It's a single tier.
So I'm curious, do you have a daily drinker right now?
Yeah, right now.
Or are you kind of like me where I'm like, I don't really have one.
Yep. It is dependent on my available selection. The collection I have, I'm not afraid to dilly it up into different nights of trying things. I like having a Texas followed by a bourbon followed by a Scotch. I like to keep it different.
Sure.
But I have been recently drinking one bourbon every day. Well, every other day, just a little bit, and I haven't gotten sick of it. It's been like 2 weeks. I've had it. This is my third bottle now that I've had, and it's the Knob Creek 9-year 100 proof.
It's kind of what we started.
That's what we started talking about, and it's just, I don't know. There's just something about it. It doesn't grow old. It doesn't give me a headache. It packs a punch. The headache part is important to me because every time I drink something in abundance or in frequency, I get the headache. Before it was the
Evan Williams, BIB.
Yep. And the Wild Turkey 101.
Yeah.
Those I can't do anymore. I won't. I choose not to. Knob Creek, I have willingly chosen to drink this. So I
will say I would have brought this if I didn't think there was a high likelihood of either you or Carter bringing it. So I specifically did not pick. He just bit off the wax tab.
I tried.
We're never going to open it now.
No, it has a.
We're doomed.
Liner. There we go.
Oh, never mind. We'll be okay. We'll be able to drink.
I was gonna
Thank heavens.
I was gonna melt the wax and have that be my bourbon.
Does anyone have a lighter on them? Yeah, I mean, the Knob Creek's always been a staple, I think, for us. But like you said, I mean, I definitely was one of those that started on it and then either got caught up in trying a bunch of other things or just kind of disregarded it.
Yeah, you got to the train station of whiskey and you're like, look at all these trains. You went train spotting
for
a while.
Look at all these trains.
You were Ewan McGregor for a good 2 years. And you're like, you know what? I really just like that original.
Yep. And then I said, you know what? I like trains. But the first train that brought me here.
Cork pop. haven't had one of those in a while.
I know. So how much was this bottle? Since you just bought this
one, I got it at an overpriced place. So I got it at Eden Prairie Liquor, which is the worst place to buy liquor. Sorry, that was way too heavy of a port.
Oh, that's fine. I've only had 600 calories today.
So anyway, this $7.50 was $41, which is a lot because
I tried to open my Total Wine app and somehow I opened my Balloons Tower Defense.
Nice. Because the 1 liter is normally that much.
Sure.
So you get 25% less whiskey for the same money at this store. Just because of little civil laws that town has. It's kind of weird, but
Prohibition didn't end. It just went to different people.
Mm-hmm.
So this at Total Wine and our local is about $32.
Yeah.
And this, you had brought up to off air this was on the $40 Bourbon Challenge.
Yeah. This is the winner.
This one, right?
This is the winner.
Yep.
Of the $40. And I think that was a great price point, and it's a really good whiskey.
Yeah, it's super a little bit of peanut brittle, but also it's kind of got like a creme brulee creaminess to it. And then pepper.
Mm-hmm. I'll drink it again. I need more flavor. More flavor.
So good, you drink it twice.
Yeah, very like sweet melted vanilla ice cream. Just that creaminess is it's just so real. Yeah, I mean it's not the most complex thing we've had.
No, and I think so. I mean, what would you? I mean, my goal, I guess, to find Daily Sipper to give some recommendations to whoever's listening is, I think the ballpark range that I'd be looking for is obviously anywhere if you can find it for $20, great. But kind of capping off towards that $50 for me. I think $50 is kind of like that, where it's like, this is ordinary whiskey.
Yeah.
And anything above that is either special, limited edition, hard to find, what have you.
Yeah.
Above that, it doesn't match the criteria for a couple different reasons. But, for me, that Russell's Reserve 10-year was something that I felt like I came back to it a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, this is like really solid.
Well, and it's since we just had that. I mean, I didn't mean to interject, but which one do you like more between these two?
I think and it might just be the mood I'm in. I think I'm going with the Russells.
Yeah.
I feel like yes, the alcohol content was less, but I feel like there was more concentrated flavor.
Sure.
And I'm going to pull up the price on that because I'm curious. So I am happy to say that this is $37 and still has a 10-year-old age statement on it.
Yep.
In the back of my mind,
Yep.
I am very concerned. This is kind of one of my irrational fears that this will become the next like Eagle Rare,
sure,
or something else, like that.
Yep.
But it's still stuck around, and I'm happy for that.
Because the bad labeling.
I kind of think it is.
It just looks
wrong.
bad.
I don't think you're wrong, but I kind of hope it stays around that $35-ish price range in a 10-year. 45%.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to beat because it has a lot of people like Eagle Rare. This is still here.
Yeah,
and it's stat wise it's the same.
Totally. I think. When I think of a daily drinker, whatever, something you regularly buy and enjoy, I do think the proof is important because you want to, a lot of people, myself included, I want to thin it out a little. Like I want to make it go longer. So I want to put it in cocktails, you know, and I want to add water to it. Or on the rare occasion where I just kind of want a chilled bourbon, I don't really feel bad putting ice in this thing for the money it costed,
Absolutely.
If it's what I wanted at the time.
No, and that's a very valid point.
And I know that this would hold up to the melting of ice. Yeah, the Knob Creek. Sorry. Yep, sorry. The Russells would too. The Russells, especially with the peppery flavor. The peppery flavor would shine through, certainly.
I think you're right, though. I think the Knob Creek would have a more versatile use case.
Yep.
You could put in Coke, old fashions.
Yep.
Manhattan if you want to do a bourbon Manhattan.
Yep.
I don't think the Russell. I think the Russell would do good in old fashioned.
Yep.
I think it'd actually be really good in Manhattan because I feel like it's got a lot of cherry in it.
I'd be interested in that too because so what I do know is the best Manhattan I've ever had was from a family friend who made one for me, and he didn't use the 100 proof, the 9-year, but he used Knob Creek, what at the time
the 120.
Yeah, no, it was the lesser proof.
The maple.
No, they have just like an 86 proof or 90 proof.
No, Knob Creek's 100.
I thought there used to be a 90 proof.
No, there was the only lower proof Knob Creek is the smoked maple.
Okay. Yeah, it definitely wasn't maple. It just did not taste mapley. But so maybe it was the 120 proof, but it was that. It was a Knob Creek as the core ingredient, and it was made masterfully. It just everything about it was great. So yeah,
fantastic.
It was the best. I've had a lot of Manhattans.
Yeah.
And that was takes the cake. We'll see.
I think the Russells, we should do that maybe when we revisit that. I think the Russells would be good in it. But I don't think it'd be good in a good mixer with Coke.
Or Coke, sure.
I don't think it would. It'd be weird and medicinal almost.
Sure.
But yeah, so I mean, so you're leaning towards the Knob Creek
for sure
for these first two. But I think either one of these is going to be a great one. So let's go on to our next one. Either we can try it or we can just talk about it. That is up to us.
I'll try it.
All right. Zach's trying to poison me. Oh, we have dump glass? Thank you.
I have just generated a dump glass.
Very nice. So this one's a little fun too. I can talk about it.
I've never had this one.
Yeah. So I thought that I don't like the word up and comer because it's massive as far as the distillery.
Right.
They're massive, but they're new to our area.
Sure.
And expanding.
Yep.
Need a little bit of water there. Mm-hmm. But this is Ben Holiday. This has been getting a lot of publicity on the Whiskey Tube lately. They came out with their 7-year. This is a 6-year still.
Yep.
But they've been coming out with 7 years. Been doing a lot of store picks. They do Rick House barrel proofs. So all the barrels, it's like a small batch, but all the barrels are coming from one Rick House.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the Wild Turkey's doing that with the Russell's Reserve Warehouse Select. I forget what the name of that line is, but they're doing it. These guys are doing it too. And these are all bottled and bond, the regular one. They do have a red wheat release. I had that, but I decided to bring the normal one.
Sure.
So this is a Missouri straight bourbon whiskey, 6 years old. And it actually, on the side of it, it has a Rickhouse location. So this is Rickhouse C, and then it gives you percentages for the floor of the batching came from. So 10% came from floor 4, 68 came from 3, 22 from 2, and then 0 for 1, and then it goes all the way up to 7 floors, and those are not used in this particular release. Twist cap. And I'm going to have to find a price on this because I do not remember, but I think it was around the 50-ish.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
I'll be a Huckleberry.
You ever seen that movie?
No, I need to see it. I've watched a lot of YouTube on it. It probably is one of Val Kilmer's best things, actually.
Yep.
Let's see.
Oh, sorry.
Our guest,
we have a hidden guest,
esteemed guest here. Yep. Remember when we said there might have been a third person in the room?
Yep,
there was.
Village of the Hidden Den over here.
All right, let's see here. I'm trying to find the price.
I'm in my prime.
Yeah, so this is that's the red wheat. So it looks like this is anywhere from $50, $60, depending where you can get it. This is available at Hy-Vees in our area. I have not seen them at Total, but you can also get it from sealbach.com. I think I originally got these from there before they were available in Minnesota. But they have history going back quite a ways. I'm not familiar with them enough to kind of give that synopsis, but I thought they were young, and then watching a bunch of the Whiskey Tube on it, they are not. Mm-hmm. So this one particular from Sealbox probably was $60. So it's more expensive than I kind of would like for a daily, but I think if you get it from a retail store, I think you're looking more towards the 50.
Sure. It's a little rich for my blood for price. I will say this is also flavor profile. Ooh. Not for me. It's got a great, I feel like its dominant flavor is like a nice red licorice.
Yeah.
You get a lot of red vine Twizzler action on that. Which is not bad. I could not drink this every day. It's too candy-like, and kind of
exactly right on it. It is very candied.
Yeah, and it just it's good. It's not bad. I could not drink this every day.
You're a picky guy.
We know that. Yeah, we know. Everyone knows. I make it known.
But what this does differently from the other ones is how candy red licorice it is.
Yeah,
it is super. What's the sugar? Just like the word for the sugar.
The cane.
No, I can't think of it, but it's just very sugar forward.
Yeah,
and then red licorice.
Yeah,
and then a little bit of that barrel tannins.
Yeah,
I would not say it's young. Like if you gave this to me blind,
no,
it does not taste like a product that's young. And I'm not saying 6 years is young. It's not. But even though I did say that on the news selection for Heaven Hill, but no, I like this. I do like this. I want to get the Rickhouse proof of it.
Yeah.
And do some of that. I'm looking forward to finding some single barrels of this at some point.
I love the percentage of Rick level on the side.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Rick percentage.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's what it is. It's like, Rick level. This one is 22% of floor 2, 68% floor 3, 10% floor 4. And it's like,
just pour it on the table.
That's just a fun little metric. I love little metrics like that.
I like it. It's good. I'm happy they're doing a bottle and bond. Like we said, I think that bottle and bond level is perfect for like a daily type of thing. So, and then speaking of which, and next two are actually all 100% or 100 proof.
100%.
100%.
Uncle Jemima's
malt liquor. So another one that's probably not within the budget.
Yeah.
But Dylan wanted to include it.
Yeah.
Zach, do you want to tell us about it?
This is Barrel Foundation Bourbon. Barrel brand. This is aged 5 years. It is a blend. It is 100 proof. Here's the mash bill. It tells you the blend components. That's great. So the blend on this one, it's got Kentucky whiskey in it, Indiana whiskey, Tennessee whiskey, and Maryland whiskey. 8-year-old Kentucky whiskey, 5, 6, and 9-year-old Indiana whiskey, 8-year-old Tennessee whiskey, 5 and 6-year-old Maryland whiskey. And the full mash bill, 73% corn, 23% rye, 4% malted barley. I like that little malted barley in there. It's a little pick-me-up.
Mm-hmm.
And this has a really nice, this looks like bourbon, This is the most carameled, amber, this is 311 right here. Whoa, amber is the color of your energy. That's what this is.
So I found the price of this.
Yep.
It is $54.99 from Seelbach.
Well, that's better than the other one.
This is actually the first barrel product that we've had on the podcast.
We had the Seagram.
No, actually, no, I think Carter had one. That was probably way back bourbon trial days.
Mm-hmm.
He had one that was a Dickel single barrel, I think.
Sure.
I don't know if I forget if we had that on the episode or not. But anyways, this is the first continuous release from Barrel. Up until this point, they've always been doing special one-offs, blend components, limited editions. This is a staple from them that they are able to consistently replicate. So if we like it, we should be able to get more.
I love the little springs. You can hear that feedback.
I'll be fine.
It adds character to the.
We're past that.
It's a vibrato.
I don't even bring the camera today, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Back, we're slumming it.
Yeah, it's more real. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this is an intimate podcast. Listen
I
to
like the
us on
nose
your
on this. We
favorite
haven't been
station.
talking about the nose on the other ones.
Well,
but the nose on this,
I find that these they are tulip glasses, but these are really small.
They are.
Like, they don't
small.
produce vapor chambers for me to smell. And I don't know, bourbon. This kind of bourbon doesn't smell that all that different from each other.
I have said that before.
Yeah.
So I will not disagree. But it does smell pleasant for a bourbon nose.
It was really boring. It's really good though.
It's sweet. Again, it doesn't have black licorice on the end, actually. You get a little bit of black licorice, maybe. Fate.
Yeah. I'd say mint over black licorice for me. But
right.
It's same family, same kind of that tart root or tart what's the word I'm thinking of? Herbaceous. Very so boring. Brown sugar caramel. Ugh, it's fine. It's really good, but it's not that good.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it over the Ben Holiday.
Yeah. This doesn't do anything for me. But that being said, I don't like it as much. I'd be more likely to drink it every day, I guess. I feel like I wouldn't.
It's not offending.
Yeah.
It's good. The age is fantastic.
Yeah.
The blend, I love the story on the blending.
Yeah.
I love that they're doing that. But other than that, it's just kind of it's a good bottle.
Cool. Let's end with that. Next one. Do you want to read it off, introduce it, whatever?
Sure.
Early Times, Old Style, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, bottled in bond.
Thank you, Vanna White. As you know, Vanna has recently retired from Wheel of Fortune, so we were able to pick her up and put her on the staff here at Whiskey House Pub House.
Yeah. As far as you know,
this is the first time she's ever talked.
Yep.
We've never heard her talk before on a game show, but I don't know if that's true. I never watched Wheel of Fortune. It always bugged me because they always seem so obvious.
Did you see the one that it was on Instagram a couple weeks ago? It was the guy that was like, I forget what the actual puzzle was, but the guy's like right in the butt was the one he guessed, and everyone was like,
"What?
Excuse me?" And it was like, then they revealed it, and they're like,
"Oh."
But it
would have worked. It would have worked.
It was all there.
Yeah,
it was all there. You was set up.
Yeah, poor luck, you know.
So this is another screw top. So, Early Times is not available in Minnesota. It's only available in a couple states. However, if this is available in your state, this is probably already a staple for you.
Sure,
chances are.
Yeah.
100 proof, like we already said. So this was purchased by the Sazerac company from Brown-Forman a couple years ago. And people lost their crap when that happened because they thought it was going to go to crap. It was going to change. They bought not only the branding from them, but they also bought a ton of barrel stocks to continue this release with Brown-Forman product. And while it did change slightly, they used to have a black screw top. Now it has a blue metal screw top instead of a plastic one.
I'm so mad.
And people were doing reviews and comparisons between the new one, like this is, and the old black top, and people were swearing by that the black tops were better.
Yeah.
And they did it blind, and a lot of times
blue one
they did. But they have found some different ones of the blue tops that actually are better. So so it seems like it changes slightly. But this is Old Forester Brown-Forman juice.
I like the label. I really like that carnival style font.
Comes in a liter. I believe it's about $30 to $35. I will look that up.
This is the value propositions coming in.
I know.
I would love that.
I went with some oddball ones because I'm like, these we got to talk about these. These are good contenders. And then we're going to end it with probably what might be one of the best, if not the best, daily drinkers, according to the people.
This is up there. This is really good.
I haven't tasted it yet.
Sorry. I'm just impatient.
I'm just looking up the SRP.
Mm-hmm.
It is cheaper than I probably said.
Is it the 20s?
If this is correct, it's about $25.
Wow. That is impressive.
So it's about $30. We'll just call it $30.
Yep.
1 liter.
Yep.
This is, old granddad bottle and bond 1 liter is about $25. That's, what else is that range? I don't even know now. $30. We did the $30, but it's changed
Evan
so
Williams
much.
single barrel.
Yeah, Evan Williams.
Not the 101, the single
I
barrel.
don't know if
or not the
bottle and bond is. Yeah,
right.
You're right. The bottle and bond, even the big bottle, I think it's like $25.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tasted it.
What I like about this one,
it's got so much brown sugar on it.
It does. This tastes cheap. You can kind of, it's got the syrupy kind of sticks to your mouth.
It's got good mouthfeel.
Yeah, it does have good mouthfeel. And it has this kind of grassy finish, I find. I think it's really cool. Yeah,
Get some water and come back to it.
Yeah. However, the finish is not long, and it does have that alcohol quick dry effect, where like your tongue just gets, all the moisture is gone.
I am getting the quick dry. I don't get the
no grass
on it.
All right, hold on.
But man, it's got that brown sugar. It's got good mouthfeel. It's a good whiskey for 30, even 35. Let's just, if it was $35, fantastic buy.
Yeah.
I hope Sazerac doesn't mess this up.
Yeah, I mean that'd be the mixer. That's the mixer.
That's everything.
Yeah, that's the everything.
It's fantastic.
Great stuff.
I love that one.
I think that might be my winner.
I like the early times. I might have to do one comparison between my previous favorite, possibly previous favorite, the Russells that I had first, just to see.
Mm-hmm. Private recording.
Yeah, we'll do a private recording.
Only for local distribution.
Our Patreon that we definitely have.
We definitely have.
Let's see, what's the takeaway? I think I would recommend early times, but if you can't get early times in your area, recommendation, Russell's Reserve 10 year.
I want to spend just a quick thought on like the practicality on, or if this is even a real thing of like just buying one. Would you even recommend that to someone? Because I feel like I can't even wholeheartedly say like, oh, if you could only choose one, because that hypothetical just doesn't exist. Like I think it's important that people try.
What do you mean choose one? Like, are we talking like they're only ever going to buy one bottle, or are you?
Yeah, like they're only going to have their one daily drinker. I don't. This is something we should have talked about at the beginning,
I suppose,
but it is a good conclusion point of like, I think the variance of the ones we just drank proves that you should have more than just one.
Well, so I think to me the concept of the daily drinker is not to exclude or just stay in the narrow viewpoint of only having one bottle that you ever own.
Yeah.
It's that it's the old reliable. It's the one when you're not sure what you want to drink.
Sure.
That's what you're grabbing.
Okay.
It's the, I don't want to, maybe if you're like me, like a collector or something, you have a lot of nice bottles. I don't drink a lot from my nice bottles.
Yeah.
If ever.
Right.
If it's just me, it's usually it's either the podcast or
at a gathering.
Gathering.
Yep.
So I'm typically drinking ones that are at least easy to obtain again.
Yep.
And not necessarily ones that are crazy expensive. Sure, $70 bottles, maybe an $80 bottle once in a while. But I'm not drinking my expensive stuff, to say again. So having a daily drinker or just something to kind of default to, that I think there a lot of people do have those.
Sure. So. Yeah. And I would agree. I think it's just important that we said that.
Sure.
Just to avoid confusion. And that's a good way to conclude, I think, those thoughts.
I think we did pretty good comparison. Gave some good recommendations. And I don't think you can go wrong with really any of these. So depending on your area and your budget, go out and find your daily drinker. But that's going to conclude this episode of Whiskey House Pub House. Join us next time. See ya.